Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV. I hope you guys are well wherever it is that you may be around the world. And we're back. We're back. Second day, a second show in 2 days. I wasn't planning to stream today, but I thought I'd get one in. I might not be able to tomorrow. So let's go through today's transfer talks. Also wanted to talk about the news around Marina Granovskaia as well. She's set to leave Chelsea after the summer transfer saga as well. So all of that to talk about. All of that to get into. We're going to talk a little bit about Romelu Lukaku again that came out today. A little bit about Reece James, Roman Abramovich. Who else we got? Jules Kounde. The news in and around Jules Kounde as well, which we'll be discussing all together. But make sure, guys, that you're smashing that like button. Let's get them likes up. Let's get them up to 50 likes as quickly as possible. Over 30 of you guys here already. Big up to every single one of you guys that are tuned in right now. I hope you are having a lovely day, a good day as well. And before we move forward, you know what time it is. Let's cue that intro. People, welcome back to GNA TV. On this, well, being in the UK, on this evening show today, usually we give you shows in and around 12, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. But today, I thought I'd give you an evening show for you guys. Some people that maybe don't get to watch the show can now watch the show and vice versa. But make sure, guys, that you're subscribing to the channel, please. I'm sure that there's over 40 of you here. You're all subscribed already. We'll have your bell notifications on as well, because we are going to have such a busy summer window. I can feel it. Whether it's for good or bad, we are going to be busy, especially Chelsea Football Club. But we are here today to talk mainly in and around Marina Granovskaia, because apparently, from what Mail Sport are saying today, which I will be bringing up for you guys soon, she's looking to leave after this summer transfer window. Now, this is something that I've been talking. If you've been a long-term subscriber of GNA TV for a long time now, I've been talking about Marina Granovskaia. A lot of people wanted her to leave. They wanted her out the door straight away. Some people want her still to stay. And in my personal opinion, even back then, I said that I felt that if she does leave, she will have to get us through this summer window. We don't have no time to bring in a DOF, not at this moment in time, not with the amount of work that needs to be done at this football club. There's too much that needs to be done. And, look, the best thing for Chelsea and for her, and the most mutual way of leaving it for me personally, is that she gets what needs to be done now. She follows the commands of what Todd Bowley, Thomas Tuchel, etc., are requiring her to do. And she kicks forward. And look, and if she wants to leave, then onwards, and she doesn't want to be here, granted, Roman's left, and maybe that's the only individual that she felt like she could work for, then fine. That allows the new DOF of Chelsea to come in, director of football, to come into Chelsea and just have time to bed in, have time to get an understanding of their surroundings, of the system, of the infrastructure, the ideas that Todd Bowley has moving forward. And there's only one left, isn't there, after that? There's only Bruce Buck left. It doesn't look like he'll be going anywhere, though, does it? So, big up to everyone in chat. We're going to go through that article in a second. We're also going to talk about Jules Kounde, because it seems like he was pictured in London again yesterday. There are some images of Jules Kounde in London again yesterday. There was also an image today, and I can't find it. I was trying to find it on Twitter, of Marina Granovskaia and Todd Bowley having a picture with someone outside Chelsea Stadium, as if they've just agreed a sign-in with someone. How true it is or not, some people are saying, but who it is the big question mark. But the one real thing that is building up steam is the Jules Kounde signature, the signing of Jules Kounde. Jules Kounde coming to Chelsea Football Club. So we will be talking about that news in a bit as well. We've also got a bit of news on Romelu Lukaku as well, and some other bits and bobs that we're going to get into. But I want to go through the chat. One of the things I always do on this channel is I try and make as much time to just quickly read out what you guys are saying before I get into the show. Jorginho is about to pocket Messi. I know they were playing. I actually forgot they were playing, to be honest. But hey-ho, Chelsea's more important to me than Argentina, Italy final. I don't really, unless it's the World Cup, I don't really get excited for international football. to be honest. I'd rather be here talking about Chelsea, understanding what we need to do moving forward, and talk about the news that relates to us at the moment. There's always something happening at our football club. Big up to Vinny. Hope you're well, bro. Ilias, I'm good, brother. I'm good. I hope you're well. Matthew, big up to you. Michael, another stream. Yeah, another stream. Like I said, 2 days in a row. I wanted to make sure we get that in. Sosa says, so Kounde a done deal? It's looking like it. That's all I'm going to say. Jordan, nice to see you. Says, according to Mark Worrell, Kanye and Kounde have been contacted at the French club, and Kounde will be in London after Nation League games, is what Jordan's saying. Who did you hear that from? Oh, Kante. I think you said Kanye. I was like, Kanye West? What? Kanye West be? Joking, mate. Yeah, interesting. Big up to Liam Lane as well. That is great news. I didn't even know about that. Jordan, where did you see that news, mate? Tell me. Is there an article on Twitter? Let me know. I want to read into that as well while we go through it all together on this show. Big up to Jose David as well. Jose David, big up to you, my man. I hope you're well. Sosa. Yeah, big up to you. Jess TV. Nice to see you, bro. Bless up. Doesn't Fernandinho look like Dave Chappell ever? Who is that? I don't even know who that is. The rumours around Hakimi, Jim, he is unhappy at PSG. Do you know what it is, Ilias? Like, I'm one of these guys that doesn't really take too much in from what media say. I know it sounds really bad, but when you look at the saga in and around Chelsea Football Club and what we will put through, what we were put through that saga, it was first it was north, then it was south, and it was always up and down, and sometimes they'd say something that wasn't true, and I just find it very hard to just listen to or read one article. Not to say that Hakimi's not happy, because some journalists have come out with it, but until I get real secure, concrete tier ones all following each other's asses and agreeing to this news and apparently being true, then it's very hard for me to actually believe most things. But it might be the case. It might be the same as Romelu Lukaku. We know that he's not happy as well. More news on him today, so-called news in and around him wanting to leave Chelsea. So we will look into that. Declared, nice to see you. CFC Stephen, big up to you, bro. Big up to you. FZ City. Yeah, but what it doesn't, for me, like I said, international football is not a biggie for me. It's nice to watch here and ever when there's no football on, but I'd rather sit here and talk about Chelsea, mate, to be honest. Big up to Gary in the house as well. Blake, it's funny how Chelsea fans were saying Marina Granovskaia was the best technical director. How is she is leaving? I think it was always a sort of a mixed of opinion when it comes to Marina Granovskaia. I feel that people, on one side, you had the people that felt she couldn't do nothing wrong. On the other side, you had the people that just felt that there was too many silly signings made. And don't get me wrong, I think there's a mixture of both. And I'm the guy that kind of sits in between that. I like what Marina Granovskaia has done parts of Chelsea and what she's done here in under Roman being the technical director of football. But at the same time, she has had some absolute howlers with some of the signings, some of the contracts, and some of the wages that have been given to certain individuals. And that can't not be spoken about, because when you think about it and you look at our wage structure currently at Chelsea, it is quite damaging, and it is making our job very hard to just go and buy players when we know that we have to go out there and sell players. And that's a bit of an issue that we find ourselves in the moment. Iron Lady Marina, big up to NS Sports as well. Who else we got here? Big up to you, bro. Big up to QNTV. Jim, my guy. Hi. Big up to QNTV. Paul Vikes, nice to see you as well. Clutch. Nice to see Clutch in the house, man. Clutch. Nice to see you, brother. Yeah, I'm in my new home. If people don't know, I'm in my new home. I'm still nearly there. I'd say about 60, 70%, but I haven't done much to this room at the moment. So, yeah, there'll be a lot more going on at a later stage when we get into the season and stuff as well. Guys, make sure if you are new here, please subscribe to the channel. Please share on your socials as well. Like it. Let's get this over 50 likes. Over 90 of you here already. 9 minutes in. Nice to see you. We are here to discuss everything in and around today's news on Chelsea. And like I said to you guys, I'll try and I promise I will try and do it as much as possible. When transfer shows are around, or when there's transfer in and around Chelsea, I'll try and make a show within that day. And just highlight some of the things. Some people might get a bit bored of it. Some people won't. It's something we'll talk about a bit later on about. Chelsea fan, big up to you. Showtime. Nice to see you. Maria looks so beautiful in that preview photo. You're in love with her, aren't you? I think there's more than just a thing of like you like what she does here. I think you actually fancy her, didn't you? Like the picture of her and everything. I see what you're doing, bro. Hassan, nice to see you, bro. Hope you're well. Big up to EE in the house as well. And she better sell Alonso. I think Alonso's going, bro, by the looks of it. Top Bins, nice to see you as well. Everyone, big up to everyone that's in the chat. But we do need to get into some news, right? So let's get into it. Big up to Samuel as well. Get the likes up. I don't know what I mean. Likes. We've got 36 likes. We could easily get this to 50 right now. If you haven't hit the like, please do so. Let's start with some fun news, shall we? Because we still are not 100% sure on Chelsea's shirts for next season. What is Chelsea's kits going to be? Is Todd Bowley going to change sponsorships? Are we going to have free? What are going to be the overall plans for us moving forward? And there's been some couple leaked images of different styles of kits. That are potentially being put forward for Chelsea to use next season. Whether they're first, second, or third kits, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, thank you, Jester, for sending me over a bit more info on something we're going to talk about later in the show, which falls into regards to Jules Kounde as well. Where has it gone? Yeah, we'll move it into there. What's that? Yeah. There we go. We'll jump into that. Yeah. Okay, cool. So back to this. Yeah. So there's one little image of it. So pre-match jersey by Nike. Some people just obviously making them up. I don't like that one bit. I want to be honest with you. The one thing that I cannot stand at the moment is like the home kit. You see what's behind me right now? Yeah, that style kit with the checkers and the zigzags. I don't want to see that, man. I generally do not like that kit. The new sponsor is Tesla, is what Undertaker CFC is saying. Listen, Elon Musk, if you want to be a part investor of Chelsea, please do so. Actually, I think there's a guarantee in the ownership contract that doesn't allow any owner to buy any shares, which means that we're stuck with the owners that we have. Unique, outstanding designs, blah, blah, blah. And then they were talking about a home kit. And, I like it being plain. Don't get me wrong. But having that collar, like the collar's cool in white, but why would you have a collar with like the patterns in and out of it? That just doesn't work for me. Doesn't work for me whatsoever. But what are your guys' thoughts on these kits so far? So we've got this one that's been leaked, which basically we expect the 2023 pre-match jersey to be launched in and around May 2022 as well. They haven't. And part of the reason of that is because the megastore, because everything at Chelsea had a stop on it. Literally had a stop on it. So it's interesting stuff to see. New sponsor is Timberlands, Coca-Cola. All right, let's have a little game, right? Let's guess in the chat. Who is going to be Chelsea's new sponsors? And I'm going to bring them up. There we go. I'll put it in the chat for you guys. Who is going to be Chelsea's new sponsors? I've got a feeling 3 are done out here. I don't see Todd Bowley agreeing to continue with them moving forward. Let's do that quickly for a bit of fun. So, Fed City is saying Coca-Cola. Well, being American, potentially. Showtime would marry her. He would marry her. Timberlands. Timberlands only if Lukaku's still at Chelsea. Yeah, 100%. What else have we got here? Been there, man. Only third kits is fine. All I want is Kounde, Kimpembe, and Sterling is what Doggy's saying. Really? Are they your players, bro? Is that what you want? Don't know about that for me. UCLA Health becomes a new sponsor, like Alex is saying as well. Disney? Sosa, you're taking the piss, bro. Are you sure? Disney? Nah, bro, come on. Trivago. Listen, Trivago looks like that's going to happen. I think Trivago will be the main. Yes, maybe. I think Trivago will definitely have some sort of sponsoring on the kit. Whether it's the main sponsoring is yet to be seen, but it could happen. Trivago, Gazprom, what Roman Abramovich is company. You having a laugh? That's not happening, bro. Tesla, Clear Lake Capital, true. Netflix, what we got here? American Express is what Doggy's saying. Clutch is saying, why would Tesla sponsor us? They just went through. They don't need to advertise. That's true. They don't. They're big enough not to advertise. Hershey's for Polish. Do you know what's so funny? I've just gone from Clutch to Matty, and these two just don't see eye to eye. Don't see eye to eye. Listen, over 90 of you guys here. Let's get this over 50 likes, guys, while we're on it. Netflix. Jim, do you have any information about Kounde? I do. We'll be talking about Jules Kounde very soon after the Marina Granovskaia. LA Dodgers is what JC Pinchy's saying as well. Is it Tesla? Nah, we don't know. It's going to be. It's all good. It's all guesses. All I can see is all wild guesses at the moment from people in the chat. Let's move on from that onto just a little comment that someone put in one of my groups earlier about the sponsors. And this is true. Chelsea's free sponsor logo on the kits is unpopular with fans. For Chelsea FC fans, the Photoshop gave an arse impression of how good the sponsor could look. The gigantic free logo is surely not a fan's favourite. The actual 22-23 fur kit comes with a Chelsea FC London lettering inside the collar. Or other elements are more or less the same. Rumours suggest that Chelsea need owners. Yeah, so basically, Chelsea's new owners want to have a new main sponsor instead of Free. That don't surprise me. I genuinely don't see Free being our sponsor next year. I don't. I'm sorry. It's not happening. It is not happening, Free. It's definitely not Burger King. Allow it. Going to need a fullback line. They're losing all their best players for sure. They are all losing their best players. Now let's get into a bit of news about Chelsea in-house at the moment, because obviously one of the things that Nizar Kinsella did mention, which I forgot to bring up yesterday, is that business resumes as normal. Megastores, tours on museums, Frankie's and the hotels at Stamford will be up and running from tomorrow. That comment was on the 31st of May, which means from today, pretty much, Chelsea FC have opened up again. Now, what I would say to you guys is, I haven't looked myself, but go and check online and see if there's any half-price deals, because what you've got to bear in mind is there's probably a big build-up of old shirts for the season just gone that haven't been sold. I reckon Todd Bowley or Chelsea may look to just flush these kits out. So go and look and see how much you can get yourself a kit for, is what I would say. And I actually haven't checked the website. Let me have a look at the Chelsea FC. Chelsea FC. Sure. Let's have a look. Let's have a look together. Okay. So they are back up and running. Let's bring it up quickly. They are back up and running, but yeah, they are back up and running, but you're looking at in and around about still 69 quid for the home shirt, £84 for the shirt with Havertz on the back as well. So yeah, these prices, I mean, I actually got blimmin' hell, still £104, yeah. They haven't cut down their prices. I thought they might have cut down on their prices, but they haven't. They haven't cut down on their prices. Big up to the Blue Lounge as well, Mo. Go and check him out. If you haven't already, go and see his channel. Go and subscribe. Does great content over there. I actually find me on there as well sometimes when I've got free time, which I will do, Mo, now because I'm in my new house, which means I can stream a lot later than I used to before. Michael Ballack to come back to Chelsea as well. Anyway, let's get into news, because that's what you guys are here for. Let's get into it. Let's start with the Marina Granovskaia news, because today it was announced that by the Mail Sport, when I find it, that she is set to quit at the end of the transfer window. Now, when we read into it more, and I will bring this up for you guys as well, so we'll come out of that and we'll jump into that, and we'll switch this over as well. Where are we? Where is it? Hey, because I've got so many tabs. Here we go. Here we go. Why does it do this? All right, cool. So it says here, and we'll go through it together. Roman Abramovich is Chelsea's Supremo. Marina Granovskaia is set to quit at the end of the transfer window after overseeing Todd Bowley's $200 million spend with Atletico director Andrea Berta first choice to replace her. Now, who is? The question is, and we'll talk about Andrea Berta. We will definitely talk about him next, actually. So I'll put that in there and we'll have a little bit of a discussion in and around it. So reading into this article, it says here that Chelsea's director, Marina Granovskaia, is set to leave Chelsea in August, according to reports in Germany. Now, this came from what I understand, this was reported by Bild Bild. German newspaper Bild reported Atletico Madrid sporting director Andrea Berta is in line to replace Marina Granovskaia, one of Roman Abramovich's closest advisors at Stamford Bridge. The news comes just days after a consortium led by American tycoon Todd Boehly completed the $4.25 billion deal, which you already know about. We then also have a bit more to this because there's pretty pictures of them all. And then it goes on to say that Granovskaia worked on transfers and contracts under Abramovich. She's become his representative at the club since 2010, then joined the board in 2013 for becoming chief executive following. She had been expected to stay at the Bridge following the Boehly takeover, but has opted to step away from the club, according to Bild. Chairman Bruce Buck is set to remain in place. Now, if there's one person that I want to see out of my football club, it is Bruce Buck. Like, I do not get what the guy does. What does he do? We know what Marina Granovskaia does, but what does Bruce Buck actually do? Other than just nothing, pretty much. Thomas Tuchel had publicly expressed his desire for Granovskaia, who won the award for Best Sporting Director at the most recent Golden Boy Awards, to stay in her role after stressing the need for community as the club embarks on a new era. I can only tell you until now, it was an excellent relationship that worked so well for me and also hopefully the two others to take the decisions and have updates in a small circle of communication and responsibility, Tuchel said. Hopefully it will stay like this, but I have no influence in it. No information if it will. But Julian Knight, the chair of the Digital Cultural Media Sportsman, warned those involved with Chelsea under Abramovich should not be part of the Bridge revolution. Why Julian Knight has said that, I don't know. Any continuity with the Abramovich regime at Chelsea is certainly unsettling developments, Knight told the Financial Times. There needs to be clarity surrounding the process to ensure that everything is being done to the letter. Reports said that Granovskaia will collect $20 million from the sale of Chelsea to Boehly and Clearlake Capital. Granovskaia's last major role at the club will be to oversee the spending of a $200 million war chest that will be given to the manager Thomas Tuchel as he bids to revamp his squad following the lift of government sanctions imposed in response to the fall. So what Knight's saying here makes a bit of sense, because what they're saying is that they believe that Marina Granovskaia, because of her relationship with Roman Abramovich, being involved in the whole era or being his right hand, his right hand woman in many ways, being allowed to earn from a purchase when we already know Abramovich has been sanctioned, they feel is not the right thing. Whether it's because they feel that there's a big involvement or a close involvement with Marina and Roman on a business point, and they're worried that maybe there is a way of funding. I don't know, but they just don't feel that 20 million should go to Marina Granovskaia. Defense will be priority for the German coach, as Andreas Christensen and Tony Rudiger are leaving as free agents to join Barcelona and Real Madrid, respectively, while there are doubts on the future of Aspie and Alonso. Kounde is poised to join, I already know. And also there's talks about Josko Gvardiol, Raheem Sterling and Dembele as they look to come to Chelsea. So there's not more other than that than what we know. But listen, things can change very quickly. And what I will say to you guys is that even though she is in the limelight today, and whether this is how true this is or whatever else, I think it's a case of that we need to, again, just wait and see. Do I feel, if you were to ask me, do I feel that Marina Granovskaia will be the DOF of Chelsea for the next 3 to 4 years? I would say no. If you ask me for the next 2 years, I'd still probably say no. Long term is what I'm trying to say. When I look at her being here for the short term, I've always said and always held that she would be here through this summer period. And when the transfer market opens on June the 8th, which it does, and we are forced into negotiating contracts, replacing players that have forced themselves out of this football club, when you've got all of that to deal with, it is very hard for us to allow her to leave and just invite a DOF in and around that period. Yeah, I agree that's maybe to a point she may need to leave. Eric Blue, big up to you. I know Showtime will disagree with that as well in the chat, but getting rid of her now makes no sense. And yes, she may have to change her mindset in terms of the way that she negotiates. I agree, but it's 2 seconds, guys. Sorry. But it's definitely a thing of that we need her. We need her in and around this period of time to make sure that we have a good summer window. And we are in a dire situation of having to have a decent window. We can't afford not to have a good window. We need to bring people in, and we need to make things happen um, quickly. Quickly, to not only just save us for the season, but allows Tuchel to actually be back, to not have to be forced into playing players in positions that we don't want to see, having a team in terms of their squad depth not being good enough. Like, there is a number of things that we need to show this manager that is currently at our club that we were here to, to back him. We need to back him. And that's why I think it's very important that she stays for the short term. And if that means that she goes straight after this period and she leaves after the window's closed, I'm cool with it. I am cool with it because I think that's the best time for her to move forward. It allows the new DOF to come in. It gives them enough time to understand the philosophy and the infrastructure that is required moving forward from Todd Bowley, from Thomas Tuchel, from all the hierarchy, what their ideas are moving forward. And it gives them a bit of time to gel and ultimately get on with what they're going to have to do, probably go into the next summer window. Forget the January signings, because I don't think that's something we should be looking at personally. But yeah, what were we saying in the chat? Jem, I think she needs to go. She's been below par at best. Monchi would be better option. Anyone would be better than her right now. I disagree. I don't think getting rid of her is the right thing to do now. I genuinely don't think that is. And I don't think we've got time. That's the thing for me. It's more of a time frame thing than anything else. Letting her go at this point makes no sense to me, mate. Like, you need to explain to me why you want her to go. Can we get some of these likes up in here, people? Please, yeah, please get the likes up, guys. There's only 50 likes. We should be on 100 likes. Over 150 of you guys here. Big up to everyone. We're going to be talking Jules Kounde next as well. Big up to Lewis in the house. Just here to say re-sign AC or hashtag Bowley out is what he's saying as well. Disgusting. Pathetic. Disgusting. I have nothing else to say to you on that comment, mate. Will Marina help us have a good window? Well, she's going to have to. And people need to understand that she can't follow the same mindset as what she had under Roman. She's now being guided by new owners who are probably going to be wanting to back this manager. And Thomas Tuchel's probably knocking on the door, wanting to be backed, wanting to see progress, wanting to see where Chelsea's going this season. He ain't going to want to go into this window, season with a half-weakened squad with so many players left and not having the right profile of players brought in. He's not going to enjoy that, is he? So there's a lot that needs to be done. I don't think getting rid of her quickly is the right answer. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying not whatsoever, because if we get rid of her, then I kind of get both sides of it. I do think she's done some good things. At the same time, I do feel that she's done some absolutely crap things. You know, it goes both ways for me with Marina Granovskaia, personally. Just here to say I don't like Todd if he lets her go. Showtime's just dropping his agenda right now as well. We need her to negotiate Lukaku leaving. Well, listen, that was the last signing of the Roman era. That's the one thing we should be making sure we do, getting her to get him out the door, because it seems like you don't want to be here. We're going to be talking about Lukaku and Jules Kounde next, guys, as well. We will open up the lines and get you involved. I'm not a fan of Arena, but I think we need a translation period. I think you're right. I think we have to. I keep saying it. We have to use her 3 or 4 this window, minimum, period. We can't get rid of her now and go into this window without a DOF. The new DOF coming in now does not help this club. We won't have a good window, is what Johnny's saying. Are you saying we won't have a good window with Marina or without Marina? What is it that you're saying there, bro? Let me know in the chat. So, yeah, we'll have to see how that rolls, because even though they've come out with this Queen of Stamford Bridge transition. I thought you were probably trying to say that as well. The only thing good she did was the Hazard deal, but we should have got more. Yeah, I mean, the Hazard deal was a great thing to do. I wouldn't say that's the only thing that she's done well since she's been here. There's been a number of players that have come and gone. David Luiz is a good example of it, where we bought him cheap and we sold him for a lot of money. We've always done quite well. Alvaro Morata is another good example. Someone that we bought for about 60 odd million, but we still got him off the books for a decent amount of money. So again, it's fake news. I'm not going, is what she's saying here, man. She's here. She's saying she ain't going. Rodrigo Rogers says Mourinho is not really a deal. She deals a lot with the financial deals, etc. Yeah, but she's still important. She's still heavily important in the negotiations of it, Rodrigo. That's the thing, She didn't renew Rudiger's contract, but let him leave for free. I think there's more to it. In the day, I do feel that she fucked up there. I do. I think there was probably more to it. I don't know. I really don't know. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Marina Granovskaia moving forward as well. Talking about that, let's move away from that, because people were asking, who the hell is Andrea Berta? Well, Andrea Berta is the Atletico Madrid sporting director, and there's a little bit of details on him over here as of who he is and what he's about, and why Todd Boehly might be potentially interested in someone like him. Todd Boehly has taken the next step. I'm not going to bore you to death with that. Regardless of the looming doubt regarding Marina Granovskaia's future at Chelsea, the club's new ownership group are expected to push A-list signings and to mark a new era at Stamford Bridge, according to Mail Online. And with Boehly eager to bolster the Blues, the Telegraph indicated that player sales are taken into account. Thomas Tuchel is set to have 200 million, as we already know about. So with transfers seemingly in mind, Chelsea are set... Oh, what's this? Set up for a new lick of paint in the boardroom. According to Sports Build, Boehly's preparing for Granovskaia's August exit with the appointment of Madrid's Andrea Berta, who is being eyed as her neutral here. Berta, the current Atletico Madrid sporting director, is held in high regard in Spain as an elite transfer chief. Have collated everything you need to know about this man moving to West London. And when you scroll down, there's a bit of activity in and around who is this Berta guy. Berta began his career in the Italian side, as a sporting director. He then joined Parma in 2007, but then moved into a deal with Genoa in 2009. After a 4-year deal, he then made the jump to Atletico Madrid as a sporting director before becoming sporting director in 2007. He then since worked alongside Diego Simeone, steering the Spanish Giants towards 2 La Liga titles. Notable transfers, activities, and this is the big one for me because it kind of shows you in and around the type of profile players that he has managed to bring through the door. And when you're seeing people like Jimenez, which is an absolute bargain when you look at his price for now, he managed to bring him in for £896,000. David Villa was bought in for 1.9 million from Barcelona. At that point, he was well past it. Let's be serious. Antoine Griezmann was another player bought in from Real Sociedad for around 48.6 million from there. And look how well he played at Atletico Madrid before he left Barcelona. Jan Oblak was bought for 14 million from Benfica. So what is this already showing you from at this point? Well, for me, it shows that this guy has a decent taste for scouting players that are maybe not highly regarded as the big, well-known players, but someone that is looking at players that could potentially become the next big thing. And look at Oblak, look at Griezmann, look at Jimenez. You know, forget David Villa. And Carrasco come from Monaco to go to him for 13 million as well. You know, okay, not the big spade, but again, people know him. Diogo Jota was bought in for from 16 for 6.3 million. Look how much he spiraled up. Rodri from Villarreal for 18 million. We already know where Rodri is right now as well. And then you look at Thomas Lemar from Monaco. Now, this was in a period where Monaco were very good. They had a very good squad. We bought Bakayoko. They bought Thomas Lemar. You know, it went a bit tight, but they spent 64 million on him. Did it work for them? I mean, I don't watch enough Atletico Madrid, but there's not a lot of talks in and around Thomas Lemar. João Felix was bought for 114.5 million from Benfica to there. Again, very highly regarded. Won the Spanish league title as well from them. Marcos Llorente for 27 million, and Alvaro Morata was actually bought from Chelsea for 31.5 million. So we did sell him, but obviously we sold him for a bit of a cut. Rodrigo de Paul, though, was bought from Udinese for 31 million. Another very good player as well. In 18-19, Berta was awarded for the best sporting director of the year at Atletico Madrid. He was previously linked to Manchester United, before then off-yield restructured earlier in 2021. Newcastle are also said to have been after the Atletico Madrid chief as well. So there's been a lot of talks around this guy. How true is it? We'll yet to see. It's not been concretely, legitly bought out by the Fabrizio Romanos, by, you know, numbers of other people. But, you know, it's an interesting stuff. It's interesting stuff to learn, because I didn't know much about it. After down tooling with Kounde deal, what are we talking about there? We need to get rid of Deadwood. Mythos, I agree with you, mate. I agree with you on that one. He has an eye on talent, is what Zach's saying. Well, that is probably a good shout. 3 names, Jim, why I don't want him. Lemar, Felix, and Morale. Yeah, but then you could weigh it up with Griezmann. You could weigh it. I mean, he's done a couple of good ones. Oblak. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just what I'm saying to you guys. Like, every sporting director is obviously going to make them odd, weird signings that didn't work. It is just normal. Like, we need to accept that is normal. Do you know what I mean? We act like it isn't normal. It is normal, guys. Relax. It's normal. They paid 60 million for Matata. Yeah. No, I thought they paid 60 million for him. That's what I thought. That's why when I saw 31, I thought it was like, huh? Success rate, yeah, potentially. But anyway, there you go. There's a little bit about him as well, Andrea Berta. We spoke about Marina Granovskaia. We have to see how that conspires out as well. Going back quickly to other things. Now, the other quick thing that I wanted to quickly talk about was the news in and around. Where is it? Where is it? Here. Usually around what Roman Abramovich is looking to do. Now, Roman Abramovich has officially filed a lawsuit against the European Union Council, who imposed sanctions on him, which eventually led to the sale of the club. We are all behind you, Roman, is what LDN Football has said as well. I've read a little bit more into that. I don't know if I can find it, actually. Let's have a quick look. Roman Abramovich. There was some more stuff around Roman Abramovich that kind of gave us a bit more. So it waited onto the sale of Chelsea to complete before the lawsuit. I always knew, and I think you guys felt it as well, that he was always going to look to take this to the courts. And why wouldn't he? You're just about to lose 4.25 billion or 3 billion or whatever it is that he's going to get out of this. He's looking to lose some serious money. Why would he lay down and bend over for that? I don't get it. You know, he's coming for the UK. He's coming for the government. He's coming for the European Union, the European officials as well. And to be honest, I don't blame him in hindsight. I think any normal person would do the same thing, especially if he feels like he's been hard done by. And in this scenario, he definitely feels that's the case. He's just lost his football club. He's had to be forced into selling it to whoever. You know, I don't blame Roman Abramovich, man. You know, I really don't. Really, really don't. Guys, let's get these likes up. We've only got 58 likes. Over 175 of you guys here. Let's get these likes up. Let's try and close this to 75 likes. If you've not hit the like button, please do so now. Subscribe if you're new. We're going to talk a bit about Jules Kounde and Romelu Lukaku next. And then we will open up the lines for a little bit and have a little chat with the guys and see what they're saying for about half hour or so. So you guys actually believe this guy is one who will sign all those players? Rodrigo Rose, listen, it's not a video game. I don't know what you're talking about. You must be talking about other than that bleed. Dry Roman is what Matty's saying as well. So we move away from that. Something that was meant to have gone back to at the beginning, when I find it, was this. Where's it gone? Is that it? Yeah, here we go. PFA Young Player of the Year shortlist has been released, and Reece James, rivals favourite Phil Foden, alongside Conor Gallagher and Jacob Ramsey as the PFA Young Player of the Year award shortlist for this year. Now, there has been some very good performances from these youngsters this year. Do I feel that Phil Foden, out of all of these guys, deserves to win it? Not for me. I think he's been good and integral in certain games, but I don't think he's been that impactful. I really don't. I actually think Conor Gallagher has been more impactful than Phil Foden this year. He has more of a shout. Reece James this season has been absolutely tremendous. You could go far to say that if he didn't have that injury, which he picked up in December due to all of the crap that we went through, that he had probably walked away with this quite convincingly and quite comfortably. I still think he's very strong to winner to get this. Jacob Ramsey, again, great player. I don't see him winning it. I think it's between Phil Foden, Reece James, and Conor Gallagher. I'd like Conor Gallagher or Reece James to win it. Who wins it, we'll have to wait and see. Probably Phil Foden because they've won the league and it's easier for them to pick. Rice, I don't know if Rice was on the list, bro. I don't know if Rice was actually on the list. 1-0. Is that to Argentina or Italy? Let me know. People act like if DOF buy players like a video game, what Rodrigo Rogers is saying. Didn't Phil win the Young Player of the Year last year and he's only turned up the second half of the season? That's my thing. Like, I don't get how Phil Foden is actually in. I mean, he will be in it because he plays for Man City, just won the league. But I still don't see how he compares to them. 1-0 to Argentina. Foden will win it. Man has world-class PR team. That's true, actually. That's true. So we have to see what happens with that. Now, let's talk about Jules, the crown Jules Kounde. Bring me the crown, Jules. You know I've been saying that for a while. So what is in news today in around Jules Kounde? We're talking a little bit about player transfers. In and around Jules Kounde, I'll tell you now. I've just got to quickly write something out. In and around Jules Kounde, it seems like sorry guys. Seems like Sevilla have already accepted that Jules Kounde will be joining Chelsea this summer. The transfer fee will be agreed around 50 to 60 million euros. I think it will be around 60 million euros, and I think that we'll get him in the regions of 60 million euros in sterling. So 60 million. 60 million euros in sterling at the moment is 51 million pounds. So 60 million euros is 51 million sterling is what it is at the moment. I think it will happen. I think Jules Kounde is someone that is wanted Chelsea for the last 2 seasons. There's more to the Jules Kounde thing here as well. I've just brought that one up as well. Is that the same one as that? Yeah, I mean, if you want to know who actually came out of it, just to confirm it, Joe RG came out and commented that it was on Fabrizio Romano's via Here We Go podcast. So Fabrizio Romano has come out stating that it will be in and around 50 to 60 million euros. If that's true, that's a good deal for Chelsea. Anything around 50 million sterling for Jules Kounde is a bargain. And he's also been pictured. He's also been pictured in London again yesterday. Got a picture of Jules Kounde in the house here. Jules Kounde spotted near Stamford Bridge yesterday as well, is what we've got here. And that was today's picture of him there. Seems like he is. Why would he's been to Stamford Bridge twice now. He was there about a week or 2 ago. He's there again. I do feel that Jules Kounde is probably done. I do. I do feel that it's done, and we're probably just waiting for the agreement to be passed. And like I said, once it's announced, once we're aware that the breaking news that Jules Kounde is signed for Chelsea, we will be doing a live show. We'll talk more about the contract as well. One article came out and said, and I don't know how legit it is as well, that it will be around 4 million euros a year for Jules Kounde in wages. So 4 million euros a year. 4 million euros a year is is it probably, let's work it out. Divided by 12 is about 330. No, it's going to be less than that. Minus, he's going to be in and around a good 200 odd K. It might be a little bit less. I don't think that's true, to be honest. I think 4 million a year is quite a lot for Jules Kounde. Is that a trial? Is he? Well, 4 million euros a year is probably a bit too much, but you have to take into consideration bonus fees and taxes and all of that. It's probably going to be a lot less than that for Jules Kounde. But listen, whatever the contract deal is, we'll find out more a bit later. There's talks about him being in and back forward as well. So we'll have to see what happens with that as well. Well, it probably ain't. You know what I mean? I have seen one of him in London last week anyway, but I thought I'd show you guys what was brought up there. Haven't heard heard a liar by court. Is what we've heard here as well. Fair enough. 1-0 Ukraine. We don't buildings like that in London. That looks like France. Yeah, he probably is in France because he's with the nations as an E team anyway. So, you know, at the end of the day, he has been in London. Sorry, my eyes are a bit itchy. He has been in London. He has been going back and forwards. There has been pictures of Todd Bowley and apparently Marina Granovskaia at Stamford Bridge. Apparently, they had an image with someone today. Hasn't been released as of yet. But we have to see in and on later what happens with him. I do feel it's going to happen. Why aren't we linked with players that are suiting the back four? Well, I think that Thomas Tuchel is probably looking to strengthen the three. I feel that he feels confident with the players that he's got, the better players that we got, that they suit the three better than the four. And maybe he feels that we can strengthen that. Maybe he feels that rather than change the formation completely, why don't we look into adding depth into the areas in this system? Maybe he feels that it can be successful. These are things that we have to wait and see as well. Even doing it, I mean, I am a big fan of Jules Kounde. I've wanted him for a long time. I have wanted him for a long time. I'm not going to lie. So yeah, there's the news around Kounde. We know that Kounde and Dembele are two players that are being spoke about quite a lot. People feel that these are going to be the first two signings of the Bowley era. I think Jules Kounde is a definite. I still feel that Jules Kounde will be the deal that happens first. I feel with Dembele, from what I read today, that there's still a lot to be done. Not to say that we can't get him. Don't get me wrong. I'll find that actually. Is there any news on Dembele? Let's have a look. I hate when people do this, when they put pictures of Dembele when he was a kid in a Chelsea kit. Like, it means nothing. It generally don't mean nothing. But yeah, it don't mean nothing. But he has got serious stats when you look at it. He has very good stats in Dembele. So under Thomas Tuchel, he had 10 goals and 22 assists. That is quite a lethal number, and you can see there that the relationship between them must be pretty good. Whether it's continued at a later stage, maybe. If Tuchel's got that relationship with him already, it's going to make it easier to negotiate a player agreement with the club. You know, Barcelona are probably going to let him go when he finds the right place that he needs to go. It's just then negotiating the wages. And the big issue with Ousmane Dembele is the wages. How much are Chelsea going to get him for? How much are Chelsea not going to get burnt in the bum with it? Because he's still very young and he does charge quite a lot in terms of wage structure as well. If you look at what Dembele, Barcelona, I think it was saying super wages. you look at the wage packet for Barcelona at the moment, it's quite ridiculous. It's in and around. Let's have a look. Why is he not on there? Where is he? Where are you, Dembele? There we go. There he is. Well, he's on 210,000 a week. Is what it says here. He earns around 10.3 million pound a year. Sorry, 10.9 million pound a year sterling. I'll show you guys here as well, so you can see. Dembele is at the moment on a wage packet of around 10.9 million a year, 210,000 a week, 22 years old. He is still a baby, but why is he's like Pulisic when it comes to the NHS bill thing, doesn't it? And that's the biggest worry, because bringing in Dembele is fine. Don't get me wrong, but you can't bring him in to be the player that plays every single game in a season where you're playing 4 competitions. It's good to have him, but you need to have squad depth in and around him. Utilize him. Rotation will be key in these instances. Big up to Fergie's son as well. Nice to see you, bro. Hope you're good. But you got 72 likes, guys. We should be over 100. Let's try and do that if we can. T-Rex Sons and Kimpembe, let me know. They can play right centre back. Yes, he can. He is very flexible. I can confirm that is very true. He's 24, is what Ashman's saying. I thought he was a bit older than that as well. Dembele is suited to a Thomas Tuchel style better than Ziyech, and he's quick with the ball, can shoot with both feet. I agree with that. I think that when you look at what Dembele has in his locker, what he can bring, what he can provide, being direct and playing, running into the pockets of spaces and being able to dribble is something that we lack. We thought we had it with Pulisic. I'm not too sure Pulisic is good enough in doing it. So it's in the thing of that. It's in the thing of that he will, it would definitely benefit Chelsea. It would definitely benefit us moving forward for sure. Big up to Ferguson as well. Yeah, I already noticed that to a degree, but at the same time, I have seen pictures of him in London as well. Look, in regards to the Kounde information, all that we know up to this point is that 50 to 60 million in euros is what Fabrizio Romano has confirmed is what we're looking to do, agree. Sevilla have already agreed that he's going. He will go. It's just about getting the right figure. We are waiting for contract length, wage, and all of that stuff. I think it's a lot more ahead. I think it's a lot more ahead of where it is from what we understand. And I think that we just need to be patient. I really think we just need to be patient in and around about it as well. Coutinho on more than that is what Doggy G is saying as well. Jury rules Amber Heard must pay 50 million in puntive damages, 10 million in compensatory. Blimmin' hell. That was always going to happen, Gary, wasn't it? That was always going to happen as well. Guys, I've only got 73 likes. How quickly can we get these likes up? There's over 160 of you guys here. Thank you very much for tuning in on an evening show. Usually we do the day shows. Very easy for people to get in and around, but the night shows will be coming back on and off throughout the week as well, especially as there's any breaking news for you guys. So make sure that you keep subscribing if you are new. Hit the like button as well. Why was it not true, Jordan Brennan? Why is that not true? I mean, what I will say to that is that many comments in the round Jules Kounde is that it was going to be around sort of 60 million euros, which is about 50 million sterling. That's probably been said by most people that I've seen that's reported on it. So that figure hasn't moved. Of course, it can change. Don't get me wrong. They may want to hold out for more. Who knows? I think that he's definitely leaving this time. He's not staying around. And he will be a player of ours. I think he wants Chelsea, and he only sees Chelsea as the one that he wants to be at. But it just depends on how quick Sevilla can obviously replace him as well. Now I want to move on to something else. What do you think of the news that Pulisic is unlikely to leave? Yeah, I did see that actually. Do you know that? I did actually see that, which is something I wanted to bring up. Obviously, there was comments in and around saying that Pulisic, Werner, and Ziyech were one of the 3 or 2 that potentially be leaving the football club. How true that is, again, not to know. But I'm going to say this. Go far as to say this. I feel that Timo Werner will only leave if Romelu Lukaku does not. That's my opinion. I don't think you see Werner and Lukaku both leaving in the same year. I think if Lukaku is that serious, and we're going to talk about Lukaku next before we open up the lines, if Lukaku is that serious on leaving, then Werner will stay. And I think that Ziyech, there might be a point thing of Ziyech leaving the club. You know, Sosa's happy for Johnny Depp winning as well. Big up to him as well. There might be a thing for Ziyech to leave the club. Do I feel that Ziyech suits what we're doing here? I don't think so. Some people may say he needs more time. I don't know. I just don't feel that he's really built for this league. I'll be honest with you. I've watched him enough this season, and even when he has played, I just can't take a man on. He needs more time on the ball. For him to be effective, he has to have time, and I don't think you always get that in the Premier League. I think with Christian Pulisic. I think Christian Pulisic will stay as much as what's going on in and around him as well. I think you'll see that he'll probably stay at the club. But you might lose Werner and Pulisic. But then I don't know. I just don't see all three of them going. If they do, that means we need at least 3 forwards. Dembele is not going to be enough. Who do we then bring in? Lewandowski's going Barcelona potentially. Who else is left? Rafinha? Do you know what I mean? There's a lot. I think your gem, Werner will only leave if Lukaku stays. Yeah. Do not say Richarlison, for God's sake, UNTV. That's the last thing I need to hear you say now, Richarlison. Anyway, quickly before we open up the lines, let's delve into today's news in around this guy. Romelu Lukaku has agreed to rejoin Inter Milan on loan next season, according to reports in Italy. And then when you click into this report and we switch this page and go to that comment here when it loads, which is loaded now. Wrong one. Wrong one, guys. I'm getting it. Here we go. Romelu Lukaku has agreed to rejoin Inter Milan on loan next season, according to reports in Italy, with the Chelsea star prepared to cut his wages by 3.8 billion to seal a Serie A return after leaving the San Siro. Lukaku has agreed to return to Inter Milan on loan from Chelsea next summer, according to reports in Italy. The Belgian has rejoined the Blues last summer, blah, blah, blah. We already know this. As such speculation over his future, he has restarted an Italian outlet, La Gazzetta, that the 29-year-old has agreed to rejoin Inter Milan on loan for 22-23, and that with the move now in the hands of both clubs, so the pre-agreement between him is that he wants to go, and he's even taken a pay cut, but it's down to Chelsea, and it's down to Inter Milan to sort out the nitty-gritty work. According to the reports, Lukaku has earned 6.4 million a year in wages, lower than the 10.2 billion plus 2.5 billion add-ons he earns with Chelsea, a definite drop of 3.8 million. So he's taken a big cut. It goes on to detail that Inter are looking to reach an agreement with Chelsea before the end of June to take advantage of the growth degree rule, whatever that is. The scheme lets teams in Italy buy players from abroad with significant tax breaks, as long as they stay in the country for at least 24 months. Lukaku joined Inter Milan in 19 and fired the side to the win, as we already know. Yet he made it known that he wants to return to Chelsea and play for us, which he did. Yet, due to his fitness problems and controversial interview made over the festive period where he admitted he was not happy at Chelsea, he fell out with favour under Tuchel. That being said, Thomas Tuchel, sorry. Why does it keep playing things? Well, I don't want it to play it. That being said, Lukaku also being mindful of regular minutes because he's not getting enough minutes for Belgium as well. And it looks like, from what we understand, that providing the clubs can come to an agreement, he will leave. He will want to leave Chelsea. Is that a win? Is that a win for the club? I don't know. But I want to know what your thoughts and opinions are. It's hit the hour mark, so I'd like to hear what you guys have got to say for the next, half hour or so. So if you're available, please do so. Smash the like button, though, guys. How quick can we get this to 100 likes? Let's get it to 100 likes for the panel. How quick can we get this to 100 likes for the panel before they come in and get involved in the chat? Please subscribe as well. I'm watching that button. How quick can we get this to? How quickly can we get this to 100 likes? We've got 82 likes at the moment. Come on, guys. Let's get this up. Let's get this up. I'm watching it. Let's get this up. Let's get this up. Di Maria 2. He would never be over the moon if Lukaku leaves. A would never be over the moon if Lukaku leaves soon. What's this about? Loan with an obligation to buy. We've got 82 likes at the moment, guys. If no one's hit the like button, please smash it now. Let's get this to 100 likes as quickly as possible. QNTV and Rodrigo are here as well. How are we doing?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Thanks for having me, mate.
Yeah.
All good, mate. All good. All good. I mean, today it was more of just an overview of the news that's happened today. Nothing really breaking other than that we know Jules Kounde is looking close to coming to Chelsea. We spoke a bit more about it being about 50 to 60 million euros, which is about 50 million sterling. Marina Granovskaia is set to quit the football club as well after the summer transfer window, is what they're saying as well. That could potentially change. Who knows? You know what Chelsea football club's like. So I'll go to Kazim on this. I mean, Kazim, Marina Granovskaia, in your opinion, there's been a lot of people in the chat that feel that she should go now. Like getting rid of her now would be better for the football club. Do you agree with that, or do you feel actually keeping her for this summer window and getting through it and then allowing her to go is the better way forward? And do you want her to leave as well?
Yeah. First of all, thanks for having me, Jim. I appreciate that, mate. Secondly, yeah, I want you to go, bro. We need. Look, she could be a great woman. She did some good business, but we need football background as a sport director, and we don't have that. Only need to know massive profiles like Bayern Munich or Manchester City. They got the right people, and it's just time to move on. And unfortunately for her, but for us as a fans, I'm talking about fans, really understand football, want the best for the club. We've got to build up right, and we all start from the board. And if this new owner coming in with try to implement the philosophy of building a structure, start from the sport director, and after that, back the manager 100%. So yeah, I am for it for her to time for her to go. I'm not gonna lie. I need someone with football background.
Okay, and in regards to the, I mean, there's talks about this guy from Atletico Madrid. To be fair, I don't know much about him. Obviously, you've seen he's running, in bringing players in and around from Atletico Madrid and whatever else. But is there anyone out there that you feel would be good to come in and take over a role, or do you just trust the club to find or to Bowley to find the right individual to lead us forward? What are you saying?
Yeah, that's a good question, that mate. It's too many people are good out there. That guy, he used to go from, but he's gone to Newcastle now. He was the sport director for Brighton. I think he's gone to
Yeah.
Newcastle now. I forgot his name now. He was very good, mate. But yeah, listen, I trust the club as long they do the right things, you know. And look, we had failure from the scout department, from the I won't say the owner for trying to pay to buy the success very quickly, and that had in fact and obviously uh, an structure of the club like Manchester City and everybody else. But yeah, I'm willing to wait, Jim, and we do things right. It's all about doing things right, and the success will come in eventually, as
Yeah.
long we get the right people in the right position, and we behind the manager and the owner, um, you know, show support and not interfering. That's how I
Yeah.
see it, man.
Yeah. I wanna add something. I think one thing that's not talked about a lot is the human side, the relationship you have between the director of football, the head coach, because Tuchel is not actually manager, he's a first team head coach, and
Yeah.
the infrastructure you have in a team. So whoever we're gonna bring in, I want to see that working relationship between him and Tuchel be in harmony. I think you guys remember when Abramovich brought in Avram Grant. That was one of the reasons why Mourinho left the first time around, because they wouldn't see eye to eye, because he felt as if Avram Grant was interfering in certain football matters, i.e., training. He would just turn up, and it just feels like leave the football to me. You stay upstairs. So we need to have someone, whoever is gonna come in, if it's this Atletico guy, we can look at the signing is made, fair enough, but that's not for me. I'm more thinking of what's the relationship between that person and Tuchel will be. I think Tuchel has a good with Marina. I think they have a lot of lunch and coffee sometimes because he always talk about him. Yeah, but the only before I agree with Kasim, the only thing with what let down Marina is her maybe her football background. She doesn't have much of it. Maybe where Marina should have been helped with people who actually are football people. So they were like someone like Peter Cech. Maybe should have been given an even bigger role. Maybe they were training him to become that guy. So I think actually slowly our structure was changing. I think even if you look at the way we changed the philosophy of the club, in terms of becoming a more attacking football team, as opposed to when Roman came in, we were just known as that defending. I think from Sarri, even Lampard and Tuchel, you can see the club was already thinking of the style of play, the style of product that Chelsea want to be. So that's where I think I just want to emphasize more on relationship in football.
Rodrigo, do you think it's a good thing for her to stay over the summer market and then go, or do you feel that getting rid of her is a good
I think
thing?
if you look at all the deals that might end are deals that she was working on anyways before the sanction and everything. The Kounde, Dembele, we're linked to Dembele in January. If you look at Koulibaly again, those are people that we were linked with before, and she probably already had conversation with the agent and things like that. So it's good that she does the transition, she hand over properly, because one thing you don't want to do, especially now, there's a lot of paperwork that's going to be needed, and then you don't want to have a new person, because if you're getting a new director of football now, there are lots of financial deals, a lot of other paperwork that actually we don't know about that come before, because we just think, oh, you just have to sign players or you just have to do it. Nah, there are a lot of legal things that might actually take that time most of the time, and then you realize, oh, I haven't spoken to the agent of this player, I haven't done this, I haven't had meetings with agents of players that are in the squad that are up for renewals and things like that. So it's a very good thing. She's actually doing us a favor, as in she's staying in, and because she could have just been like, "Oh, I'm leaving. Pay me my final big check." And because she's actually like a Roman, she's like Roman right hand woman. She's like, I think she'll go to with Roman whatever his next venture will be in life.
I feel that's probably the right
thing for the time being, because of obviously the amount of work that has to go in the background to make a football team ticking is a lot more than we probably know or think. It's not as simple as get target players in. It's not. I think there's more to it.
I think there's I think you're probably right, to be honest, in what you've said there. I do feel that she's not. I've said it already. I don't feel like she's going to be going anywhere anytime soon, to be honest. I feel like we need to understand that. I think she's got a job to do. And look,
I mean, for Marina, I think like as a negotiator, I think she's one of the best out there. But the thing with Marina, because she was always thinking of profit and loss, which is good because under Roman you have to get that, because Chelsea as a business is very good as a business, but Marina, for me, leaving is also a good thing in the future, because right now Chelsea has a chance. Like, we don't have to focus on too much profit and loss because Roman has already cleared all the debt. So now is a chance for Chelsea to sell everyone. If you want to sell Werner for 40 million, sell him. Because the thing is that we have to build under Tuchel and we have to sell all the players. So Marina sometimes think too much about getting money, which is fine. But if you think about Timo Werner, no one's going to buy him for 50 million. Maybe 40, 42 maybe at max. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, he comes from a background as well. It's more of a financial. I think she started she has an MBA in finance or some. So it's the way her brain is geared.
Look, I want to just quickly answer these questions. Not this one. I don't know what that's come up for. Tim's. How many signings do you lads want to see? I think there's going to be about hopefully around a minimum of 4 signings. Only be partly just because I feel like we're going to be forced into doing that. But it is as important on seeing people leave, but at the same time, you let people leave that you add numbers to having to replace players. And if we let players go and we lose 2 or 3 forwards, just say Lukaku goes, Werner goes, and I don't know, say Ziyech doesn't hang around. You've only left with Pulisic, Mount, and Havertz, and maybe Joe as well. So I feel we would really need to be careful with who we let go, but I also feel that we need to let go of players that need to go. So it's a very hard summer window that Marina Granovskaia has on her hands. If it is her last one as well to move forward with as well. But I want to quickly talk to Eric Blue. Eric Blue, what you saying, mate?
Yeah, big up, John. Big up. Can you hear me?
Yeah. People mute your can you mute yourself because I can't hear when you use a thing. I can hear your background. Go on. Eric.
Yeah. I was just gonna say big up to everyone in the panel. Big up to the chat. Big up to yourself, Jam. I have to say, I just want to start off by saying, I had something that I really didn't like. Marina isn't doing us a favor. Okay, she has a job to do. She's getting paid to do her best for Chelsea. So her staying is not doing anybody a favor. She's doing herself a favor by being a professional. That's just I just need to get that out there. So for me, she hasn't been doing well enough recently. Yes, I get the logic of keeping her. It makes sense not to just make drastic changes. But if she stays, she has to do her job. You know, you can say whatever you want about how good she is a negotiator. All I can say in her favor right now is that she's respected in the football world, in the football community. She's seen as somebody who you don't mess around with, who you take seriously because she's very serious about what she does. That's all I can say. I can't say much more than that because she hasn't shown that I should give her more credits than that. That is the truth. She's the best at what she does, generally speaking, yeah. But recently, not so much, If she's involved with the contracts of players, how much players get paid, things like this, she's not doing a good enough job. We have a lot of problems because of what we've been doing recently with the signings and how much people are on. So I'm not just going to ignore that and say, oh yeah, she's this, she's that. No, she hasn't been good enough for what we're trying to do. And if she continues to not be good enough, for me, she shouldn't even get much of a chance in the future. But maybe Toboli will give her a chance. We'll see what happens. But for me, okay, she can stay a little bit longer because you don't want to just get rid of people who have been here for a while. I get it. But, for me, long term, she needs to be moved on. Somebody who is better fit, a better fit for what we want to do should come in. If she has to stay, she needs to move to a different department and let her job only be strictly, something specific. Okay, am I in charge of the wages of the players? Am I in charge of the transfer fee? What am I actually in charge of? Am I in charge of making sure the club makes a profit? Not in terms of just like a general kind of broad thing where she's doing so many things at the same time. Because for me, it hasn't worked. So I don't want to, come across like I'm hating, but I don't think it's fair enough to just say, oh yeah, she's the best at what she does. She's this, she's that. It's not good enough. It's not.
Eric, I agree with what you're saying. But I do feel there's 2 sides to the story. And as much as we sit here and talk about how she hasn't been good, I do feel that I know some people may disagree with it, but I do feel in certain areas we have benefit from it. I do feel that there's an element of, yes, she's done some decent things, but at the same time, she's done a lot of bad things. And I just feel that being a sporting director, it must be a hard job trying to narrow down negotiations financially with agents, with players. Especially in this day and age, when you look at how much players are going for it, it's a completely different setup than what it was 10, 15 years ago when you could buy Wayne Rooney in his prime at like 50, 60 million, which was a lot of money then. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a completely different ball game. And I do feel that many players are overpriced for who they are and what they are, whether they're young, whether they're prospects and whatever else, or etc. And at the end of the day, I think she will have to be here for the short term. I think she will do what she needs to do. I don't see her being here in the long term. And I do feel that I don't think Todd Bowley's forcing her out. I feel like she's leaving on her own back. I don't think he gets rid of her. I think she probably wants to to potentially move on and go, go her own way, which is fine. But then if she's going to do that, she's going to need to make sure that she has probably when you think about it, this window, probably her best window since she's been at Chelsea, and it could be potentially her last window. When you think about what's required to be done, and do you know what I mean? It's a very
Yeah, but we don't
weird.
want her to interfere in the window, Jim, because she hasn't got football background, bro. That's my point I'm trying to make.
But then again, if you think
one second. Listen, I absolutely agree with everything Eric said. She could get a different position. Listen, motion and sentiment has got to be out the window when it comes to football. If you want to be the best club, you have to have the best people. As simple as that. Look at Man United have a bankers, right? And that what is the result now? For us to have a lady or a gentleman that has no football knowledge about football background, it will become an issue eventually. And for you, James, now to say, well, another transfer window, I don't want to see that happening, bro. I need a proper right people in the right position. Just that's what I want to say, man. We've been there before with Lukaku. And people say Werner. People say maybe Pulisic. I don't know who signed this, but
is she the one choosing these players, or she's the one that's been given a list of players, telling her these are the players you need? So,
it's mixed, Rodriguez, isn't it? Is the scout department? Is sport director? If she's a sport director, I don't know exactly what. There is mix. It's something not right in the board.
And then you need to also think about who actually organized the structure of Chelsea. I don't think she's the one. I think it's Bruce Buck or someone who's high up there, because she's not the one that's going to say you need to have these scouts, because it's people that actually come up with the football names and saying, all right, these are the players that you need to go talk to. I don't think it's her. I think there are other people in Chelsea that don't do the job properly. And then she's the one that has to go out there and negotiate.
Do you know why I think it makes? Can I just say it really quickly? 1 second. Do you know why I think it? I think people look at her and think she's done a really bad job. I'll tell you why, and it's very easy why. It's because I actually blame it on the structure and the system that we have at this football club and have had, but it has brought us a lot of success. So it's very hard, but I do blame it a little bit in regards to her, because you look at the number of managers that we've gone through over 10, 15 years, all right? And then you think about being someone that's in control of dealing with scouting departments and negotiating deals with players that may not always be what the managers wants, but what maybe the board wants or Roman wants or whatever else, or what the scout department says. When you look at when you look at what happened when Lampard when Lampard was there, and we spent 200 million on players. At that point in time, everyone was so happy to the type of players that were being bought into this squad. Timo Werner, Kai Havertz, Thiago Silva, Mendy. There was a number of players that were brought in, Hakim Ziyech. There was a number of players that were brought in that we were just looked at and thought, wow, what a window. We've done so great. Where we changed the goalposts with Marina Granovskaia is when the managers don't, or the player itself does not get the best out of themselves in this squad. And part of the problems with that is to do with the amount of different managers that we've had, the crop of players that are being held by them, by that manager at the time. And that's why it's very easy to point fingers at her when players don't do well. And you look at Timo Werner in his example. Some people think he didn't have a bad first season, but his second season has been an absolute stinker. Oh my God, why did we bother buying him? What were they looking at? This, that, and the other. But you look at what he was doing in the Bundesliga, and before he comes to Chelsea, and he was banging in goals left, right, and centre. So it's very easy to look to point the finger at Marina based on players not doing well. But the truth behind it is that we haven't actually sat down and thought about the profile of player that's coming in for that manager. We've just bought players. Yeah. And that is part and parcel fault of Marina Granovskaia. But I keep banging on about it. I blame the scouting department hugely, because what are they there to do? They're there to go around scouting across Europe to find us the best players that fit what we're doing. And that's where I think the communication falls with not only the managers, but also the overall hierarchy and the board and the understanding of what's required. And Marina Granovskaia, because she's at the top of the food chain, it's very easy to just point fingers and blame her for things when players don't work out because they bought them in and for that silly wage. And forget the wages aside, I'm talking about the quality and the player and the talent of the player. These players like Ziyech and Werner who came over were highly talented players before they came to Chelsea, but who we thought were going to be great. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, even if we don't focus on the best or the big signings, the big money players, that's okay. Let's just not even focus on that for a second. Look at players like Baba Rahman or maybe Malang Sarr, who came into the squad this season. Why are these kind of players getting 100K a week? Whose fault is that? Who determines, these kind of amounts of money that these players get paid? These are part of the issues. It's not just about the big name signings, but
but
if you look at all,
she's then also sold players Eric Blue as
Can
well.
I say something, Jay?
Players made money quite well as well. Like it goes both ways for me. Like she has done a good job on getting very good money for players that I don't think we're going to get money for. So
can I say something?
Go on.
Yeah, we know. I heard what everybody is talking about. Most times, if you want to judge people, you judge them from the length of work they have been doing in Chelsea. For me, I think the lady have been. I think he's the best person. I think she's the best that Chelsea have ever have, and she's doing her job very well. When you want to talk about, you want to judge somebody from what they are doing and their work. If you look at the players in Chelsea, most times, if you watch Liverpool now, Klopp have been in Liverpool for 7 years. Almost every player, but because of Klopp was there. Then if you look at Chelsea now, you look at because the amount of coaches we have, if you look at Antonio Conte come with his own players, then you watch Sarri come with his own players, Lampard come with his own players, even Di Matteo come with his own players. You look at all those kind of managers because one, all of us we are happy because Chelsea is successful. We are very successful. So, and because we don't give managers time. So when a manager stays in Chelsea like a year or 2 years, you sack that manager. The next manager come in, will find different players. Maybe if you don't suit the system, you are off. So if you watch, nobody should blame the lady with the work she's doing. And if you watch her work, look at the player Chelsea. If you are not performing well, look at it. They just use Bakayoko for instance. Bakayoko now, if you Chelsea think they have recouped the whole money, then spend the Bakayoko, you won't know about it. Because all this loan that you watch Bakayoko going, it's like about £5 million, £5 million. You watch that Chelsea have already recouped that money. And nobody can do that work more than the lady. She do it perfectly well. So apart from drink water, I would say maybe drink water is the only loss that Chelsea have. And you're talking about Malang Sarr. Malang Sarr come from free transfer. So a free transfer, you have to pay money for it. Look at the guy that was signing a free, this Arsenal guy. They had signed new contract. They're offering £100,000 a week. So when you are signing somebody a free transfer, you are going to offer that person money. And you can see Sarah Malang Sarr and recoup the whole money back. So for me, she's doing a great work. The only thing that maybe when players come, if they are not performing well, you cannot judge. Last season, we won Champions League, we won everything, but nobody was talking about, we have a good season last season. Even this season, people forget, like, for me, I don't judge 20 players this season because for me, I don't see it as a bad season because when I would judge people, when you see like James had injury, Chilwell had injury, Kante have injury, Kovacic have injury, even COVID period, everybody was Timo Werner, Havertz, Lukaku, all of them. Last season, last 2 seasons, Liverpool only have Van Dijk. Van Dijk went for injury, but nobody was talking about it. And they have a bad season. Their fans were not kidding themselves, but they have a reason why everybody has said because Van Dijk had injury, that is why we have a bad season. For me, if Chelsea players, if James is fit, Chilwell is fit, I think we have done more better than this, where we are now. So for me, Timo Werner, I don't blame him. Sometimes things work out. It didn't work out the way. When we signed Timo Werner, no Chelsea fans will say Marina did a bad job. All of us were happy when she signed Timo Werner, when we signed Hakim Ziyech, when we signed Ben Chilwell, when we signed Thiago Silva, even when we signed Carvalho, everybody were happy for that signing. So nobody should because she's doing a bad work. I don't think she's doing a bad work. You look at other clubs like Manchester United, look at other clubs like Man City, look at other clubs like Arsenal. If their player is not performing well, they can't even be able to sell that player. They can't sell it. But if a player comes in Chelsea, if that player is not doing well, the lady will find a way to sell that player and to recoup that money back. That is one for there. I give her credit, a very big credit. For me, I don't criticize Chelsea so much. For me, because if you are supporting Chelsea, if you're supporting a club, you really want that club to move forward. Everything, even as a human being, you don't make it. You don't do well every time. Sometimes you have a bad time, a bad period in your life. Sometimes you have the good period in your life. So for me, we've been winning. What of Arsenal for 20 years? They are not winning anything. Manchester United, their fans, even
Listen, bro. Can I just say something, Jim? Now,
hold on,
listen, bro.
hold on. Let me finish. Hold on, let me finish. Please, let me finish. Even people
Yeah.
are talking about Liverpool. People are talking about Liverpool will have a good season. If you watch since Klopp have been in Liverpool, they won exactly the same trophy we won, but nobody's talking about it. They won the same trophy we won. They haven't won more than us. So it's the same trophy they won that we won. But everybody's talking about Liverpool. For me, I don't. For me, next season, I believe that this season we are going to have a watch. If you can be able to say they move the players that is going to leave, like I know that Alonso is going to move. He's been a good servant. Aspi will move. He's been a good servant. Maybe we can recoup money from other things. Then sign players that is good. So for me, I don't think if Timo Werner wants to move, I will give him a pass. You are free to move. If Ziyech say he wants to move, but I believe that next season, Timo Werner will have a game time because he's going to be 5 sub. So that 5 sub will give you almost players a minute to play. So for me, I am not angry with this season because we want 2 trophies. There are people who don't even have a trophy to show for it. So for me, all I'm just having, if you guys want to support Thomas Tuchel or you want to support Chelsea, you have to support them, even in times of bad and in the times of good period. You have to. That is
Well,
why
it's always,
people
yeah.
want
There-
to
Yeah.
There's always good and bad in all of it, and that's what we need to learn to understand. Go on, Kazim, what you saying? Go on.
No, bro. Listen, Jim. I think that's the issue with a lot of Chelsea fans, bro. I'm not. It's sentimentally involved here, emotional. I'm not here for that, bro. I'm not here for that. Listen, the issue with Chelsea talking about different managers coming in, Sarri, Frank Lampard, Conte. Now we've got Tuchel. The issue no is changing the manager, bro. The issue laid. It's not from the board. We don't have a style of play. Look at Barcelona, for example, in the old days. They can change the manager as much as they want, but they still have the style of play. Any manager coming in, he carry on the same philosophy, which is Cruyff philosophy. Look at old Ajax. They got the same philosophy. It doesn't really matter with the manager, bro. I don't know what you're talking about. What I'm trying to say is, start from the board. We don't have philosophy. We don't have a style of play. 1 year we'll play counter-attack. Another year play ball position. We'll play 4 in the back. We'll play 5 in the back. We don't have a style of play. That needs to stop. We need to have a philosophy and a style of play.
Can I ask you something? The
Wait.
last
Let me finish, bro. Let me finish, bro.
Last three Barcelona
Let me finish, bro.
Barcelona, the last 3 managers.
Colin, you didn't want people to interrupt you, so please.
Hold on, let him talk, mate. Let him talk. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, he lost for a generation, bro. And that's what Manchester. Do you think when Manchester City, it's like Guardiola tomorrow, they're gonna change the style of play? No, they got because it's about the people on the position, sport director. They got the style of play being laid, bro. Whoever goes right, the new manager coming in will carry on the same philosophy. That's why we don't have new manager coming. It changes the formation, it changes the style of play. New manager coming, so it all come to the board. We don't have the right people. And look, I give you an example. Last year, all summer, we linked with Haaland. Till last minute, we gone for the 4th choice, which is Lukaku. That's telling you something, isn't it? And we needed midfielder. He ended up going for Saul. And he's not his first choice, right? That's telling you something. It's no structure. It's no structure. It's no style of play. It's not a system. And that's why you're going to get the result. If you say you're happy with the Chelsea winning the Champions League, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to tell you right now, bro, right? We won the Premier League. The Premier League, the standard for me. It's the yardstick. The Premier League, we won in 2017 under Conte, right? Winning the Champions League year is paper over the crack. It was a luck. Nobody of us here, Chelsea fan, expect Chelsea won the Champions League last year. No one expect that, right? But we end up winning it. It's positive. But guess what? It's paper over the crack. It shows the reality. We're 20 points behind Manchester City and Liverpool. And that's the reality, bro, domestically. So we need to build right. We need the right people in the right position, right? And we need the style of play. We don't need counter-attack, ball position, We don't want
but
that, man. That stops, bro. That stops.
To get the style of play that you're saying, you need to have continuity with the manager that you have. You
Exactly.
can't continue. You can't
I'm
continue
not
getting
disagreeing
rid
with
of.
that, Jim.
No, but you can't continue like our style of how we've been successful is that we sack a manager, we bring one in, we give them what they want, they win, and then we don't back them after. That is literally that is a short way of explaining Chelsea Football Club over.
Yeah,
the
but that's
last
my
15
point, Jim.
years.
That's show you from the board, though.
But what you're saying now, Kazim, is I agree with you, but this has to happen now under the new owners.
Jam.
You know, this and what I'm trying to get at is that we should have, hopefully we should. I think Todd Bowley is not going to be a Roman. I don't see that happening. So I just feel that.
Jam, it could be argued that we actually have a style of play. We had the style of play. Mourinho.
What I'm saying is we haven't. Thomas Tuchel. Yeah, I know, but just quickly, I'll say with Thomas Tuchel, it's very easy to just say this, and this is the truth. Yes, we might have papered over the cracks winning the Champions League with this bunch of crop of players. Yeah. And part of the reason for that is because we didn't have many injuries. We had the Chilwells, we had the Reece Jameses. You know, these are important players in this system. The issue we have is that Thomas Tuchel is a manager that's managed to get players that are bang average to look very good, and they just can't be consistent in doing that because I just think they're just not at the level that is required to be. Now, to get that philosophy and get that what Kazim's talking about, you have to give the manager time, but you have to give him the backing, and he's right. Saul Niguez, I don't feel if what they said in on Twitter is true about Saul Niguez, apparently Tchouameni was there and ready to come, and we turned him away because we didn't think he was ready, and apparently Thomas Tuchel was involved in that. I don't know how true that is, but you know, there has been decisions that have gone against, but what I'm saying is we need to give it time, and to have that success, you need to give, you know, the backing to the manager and the ball. So we have to see what happens anyway. But yeah, go on, Rodrigo, what you're saying.
Yeah, I was about to say, we actually, if you think about the early days of Abramovich, I think our style of play actually is the Mourinho style of play. Every man, even after we sack Mourinho, if you look at how they always revert back to a solid at the back, counter-attacking football. I think we did have a style of play. I think actually the board was phasing away from that style of play. I think maybe Abramovich was tired to watch defensive counter-attacking football, and you could see from Sarri, Lampard, and now Tuchel. Actually, Tuchel was approached in 20. I think before Lampard. I think either before Sarri or Lampard, Tuchel was approached, but
before Sarri.
Before Sarri, yeah, he went to Dortmund. So I think it could be argued that Chelsea are actually, in a way, they're actually facing away from where we were under Mourinho. You can actually see that on the timeline, how the approach of the club, and now how we trying to maybe becoming more on an attacking side. And that will take time. That's what we need to stick with.
Time. That's it.
Yeah, we need to stick with Tuchel. Yeah, with the Marina thing, I think let's just cut short. What we need Marina to do now is to do her job for the next few months. We're not asking her to stay on for the next 5 years. She has to do the transition. That's it, and then she can go. That's it. I think so. And yeah, that's my opinion on that. Yeah. Really.
Let's just quickly talk to Hanno because he's not said anything. Go on, Hanno. What are you saying, mate?
Yeah, thanks for having me on Marina. I can't agree anymore with what Kazim said, what you said, and the rest. The thing is, we need a structure like Liverpool because we don't have a structure. We are almost like United with our structure. It's just a shambles. United are just worse than us. That's the only thing saving us. As at this point, we got Scott McTominay as our director or chief scout. Why is he our chief scout?
McTominay?
Yeah, Scott McTominay.
Okay.
Oh, it's about Scott McLaughlin. Yeah. Go on.
And then you got all the rest who are just wannabes they got off the street that asked them, you know who Phil Foden is? Oh yeah, I know. Okay, yeah, sign the contract. You can be our scout. That's basically a race. And Marina, I applaud her. She has some great things, but some of the other things she has felt. If she leaves, I just hope we get a suitable replacement.
Yeah, and that's the big question. Who is going to be that suitable replacement? Who will come in and that? We're going to quickly move from Marina talk. So I want to quickly, before we shoot off, talk about Romelu Lukaku news in around him actually potentially taking a pay cut of 3.8 million to go back to Italy. I mean, Rodrigo, what do you feel about that news, mate? The fact that
I'm so happy. I'm over the moon. For me, actually, Lukaku leaving is reinforcement to our squad. Him actually going, us not bring anyone is reinforcement for me. I'm watching Argentina against Italy. We were con, man. We should have gone for Martinez. What a play. I want him to go. I think we need to thank him. Listen, mate, it didn't work out. Just go back to where you're gonna be happy with your life and move on. I'm so happy. Even if I don't actually think we need to bring in a striker per se. I think we can trust Broja. And I know Casimir on stream. I know we talked a lot about our boy at Everton, Richarlison. That's all I have to say about.
Don't get me started.
Yeah, but it's good news. Yeah. He has to go for his own sake, for his own sanity.
Chelsea's sake,
and for Chelsea's sake. Obviously, for our sake as well as fan. We don't want next year. We don't want to have a stream where you spending an hour. looking at his hit map, trying to count how many touches this.
Do you know what it is, Rodrigo? Like it makes it look like I hate him. I don't. No. It's just me. I don't get. Do you know what annoys me more about Lukaku for this last year? It's the people that defend him when he's just been so bad. I don't get it. Like, why are you defending it? Like,
it's giving you good content, though, man. It's giving you good content, at least you'd say.
Yes.
Yeah, let him go, man. Let him go. Yeah. I mean? All right, mate. Yeah.
Eric Blue,
for me,
what are your thoughts on this Romelu Lukaku thing, mate?
Yeah, I think well, if anyone who's listened to me knows that I wanted, or I was happy, I was in favor. Let's just say I was in favor of Lukaku signing. He wasn't my first choice, but I was happy when he was signed. And even though I had my doubts, I thought that it would improve our team. But the most disappointing thing about Lukaku is his mentality is very bad. Like he doesn't have the mentality for this kind of level to play for Chelsea, to play for the European champions at the time. So for me, that's the most disappointing thing about him, because say whatever you want about Werner has better mentality than Lukaku. You know?
Yeah.
He just does. So for me, taking everything else out of the situation, taking everything else out of the conversation, his quality, his lack of first touch, this, that, the other. If you don't have the mentality, if you don't have the grit to dig in when you're not doing your best, the goal isn't coming for you, but you're still working hard, you're still trying to get yourself in the best positions. If you don't have that, then you don't have a chance to, at the very highest level. Obviously, Lukaku is still a good striker, he still gets goals, but at the very highest level, you have to have that grit, and he just doesn't have it, So it's been a complete disaster. It has been a failure. Whoever was the main reason we signed him, they did a very bad job. Everything involved with the deal, us approaching him, the wages he's on, the transfer fee, it was all a disaster. One of the worst decisions this club has made in a very long time, which is very sad for me to say, because I like Lukaku, and I thought he could do well here. So it's just we just need to move on as quickly as possible. It's positive news that he wants to go back. Hopefully the Inter fans will accept him. He can help them win the title next season, and we just need to move on as quickly as we can.
he's a deceiver. That's what he's done. He came here giving it all the big and that he can do this, he can do that. He's learned so much in Italy. He's going to come back. He's going to work hard. He's going to fit in the Tuchel way. And the next minute, he's doing a documentary saying that we don't play to his strengths. Like, I don't know, man. I find this guy very funny. But Collins, what are you saying?
Yeah, my opinion right from day one, because I told you guys, remember when we were talking about the transfer last season, I said we should give Timo Werner another chance, because for me, I love Timo Werner very much, because I like when somebody, even when you are not doing well, but you still put in effort, only that, because the guy want to survive, he want to succeed in Chelsea, but the only thing that each time, even if Werner is not scoring goal, watch his effort, he trying to put everything to make sure that he's surviving. He don't even talk too much. And for me, Lukaku, because Chelsea bought Lukaku, I don't have, for me, any player Chelsea went and buy, I will support that person. But if you ask my opinion, I would say I don't need Lukaku. Like for now, if you will sell Lukaku, like people are shouting for bring Nunes, bring this. For me, since we are going to play that try at the back, we still have Kai Havertz, who is going to play that wing perfectly well. Let's use Havertz. And the only one thing about Chelsea people is that if you are not succeeding, watch Keita in Liverpool. It took that guy 2 years. 2 years for him to start, more than 2 years for him to start playing ball in Liverpool. But if Keita happened to be in Chelsea by now, maybe he could have been loaned in maybe PSV or maybe anywhere. But he took him upon Liverpool bought him with a very big price of money. It took him 2 good years, more than 2 good years, for him to start even playing football in Liverpool. Then give him time for him to adjust. For me, if Timo Werner wants to stay in Chelsea, I would like him to stay in Chelsea. If we manage to sell Lukaku, I don't want us to go for any striker. We are cool with Havertz and Broja. Because Broja will be coming from second part of the game, then we can have somebody like Ousmane Dembele. For me, I want Chelsea to sign Ousmane Dembele. If you have Dembele with all those kind of crosses, with Havertz being good in heading, I think we are going to do more better. It's just that it will bring this person, Kunku, bring this person. We have players like Austin Odoi now is coming back from injury. We have Pulisic. If you watch, we haven't had a good preseason. When I mean a good preseason, like let these players have a good preseason together. Then from there, we can know maybe by January, if we look at how we are doing, we are not doing well, we can go and buy a player in January. But looking at the way the whole settings is, I think Lukaku for me doesn't make any sense. If you watch, I don't like Lukaku. Even remember when Conte went to buy Lukaku, I don't want him. I like Morata, because even Morata, if Morata is missing chances, he will still put in effort to make sure that, okay, I am this game. But if Lukaku is not scoring, he's not contributing. That is the worst part of it. He's not even contributing. That is the worst part. He can't contribute. He can't even chase ball. That is one thing I don't like about him. So, but if you watch Morata, if Morata is not scoring, watch his ball. Sometimes he will make a pass, he will make assist. So that is one thing I like about Morata. But for Lukaku, if Lukaku is not in the game, you know that this guy is not in the game. He won't contribute anything. So for me, if we sell Lukaku, I will just allow Chelsea. Let's move with Havertz and Broja. So if we try it, if Broja is not doing well or Havertz is not doing well, maybe by January, we can go for another player. But for now, I think if we can get to Ousmane Dembele, invest in that money, like have 2 defenders and another midfielder, then and also we have, you see, my own problem is backup. We need Chilwell backup. For me, I need a Chilwell backup, because if Chilwell, I think that injury affected our season, but people don't know. It affected our season very well, because before Chilwell went to injury, we are topping the league. So imagine when we have Chilwell and James playing together, I think we could have a good season. But for me, if we sell Lukaku, I don't want us to buy Nunes like people are shouting for. For me, we cool with Havertz, because we are not going to play back 4. I believe that we're going to play this back 3 again. So if you are going to play back 3, so what is the need buying Nunes? Why you have Havertz already, who is playing there?
I hear you, mate. I hear you. Boogie Man's in the house. He comes at the good time, because we're talking about Lukaku wanting to take a pay cut, mate. You've been a bit like me since the beginning. You've not really felt that Lukaku was the right player for Chelsea. What's your thoughts on him wanting to take a pay cut of about 3.8 million just to get back to Italy and get out of Chelsea Football Club?
Hey, Jim, thanks for having me, man. Sorry, I just got home and noticed that you're still streaming. I've never noticed you streaming that late, because these are the time that I
don't
can
usually. I don't. Today I thought I'd do a late one. I usually do afternoon ones, but I'm going to start now. It's transfer talk. I will start doing some like odd late ones. So yeah, we'll definitely build up to talking about that as well.
Oh, beautiful, man, beautiful. No, I'm surprised when I saw the news that he's willing to take a pay cut, and that's what it is. If he still have something to prove, that's the only way, because the wages only that he's on at Chelsea is just too much for any other club to afford him. So I think he just have to take a pay cut and prove people that maybe the possession system or the high intensity system Tuchel apply at Chelsea is not his game, and he just need to go back to Serie A where the intensity is not as high, and there's a lot of teams there that play counter-attack. And if he's willing to take a pay cut, listen, respect for the man, and that's what it is. He's just it just didn't work for Chelsea, that's for sure. And I am Chelsea fan. That's why I always came out like I don't like Lukaku. It's just a fact. It's no more than that.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you. Just quickly before we obviously shoot off, I wanted to just quickly look at this graph, because this graph is a breakdown of the 4 defenders that Chelsea are potentially looking to bring in. Obviously, Colwill's in there with Koulibaly. The Leipzig guy, Gouveia, is in there. Kounde's in there as well. You can see their heat maps. And obviously, from Kounde's heat map, you can see quite clearly, I'll zoom in a bit more, that he plays off the right. He mainly hogs off the right. Gouveia is the same off the left. Colwill, the same. Koulibaly is a bit more spread across on his heat map, you know. When you look at if you look at the lines here, there's like long pass accuracy, ball accuracy, ground duels, aerial duels, take-ons. So Koulibaly, out of all 4 of these defenders, probably has the best take-on success. He actually has the worst aerial duel success, which is weird. His ground duel success is probably second or third best. He's got the best ball carrying success out of all 3 of these guys. And he sits in the middle between the long passing success. When you look at someone like Jules Kounde, he's got the best long passing success. He's got the best pass accuracy success. Doesn't have the best take on success, which is unusual for him, because he does like, I mean, is he not taking on? Nah, he's not like that. So yeah, that kind of makes sense. Got the second best aerial duel defense. Something that people moan about is height. You know, he's got one of the second best aerial duel success, which I know already with him. Ground duels are near enough the same as a Colwill as well. But his ball carrying success is, as I already know, is the worst. So again, not bad from what you get from him. Colwill, who we already know is in the Championship, has not a bad line. I mean, he's got the best aerial duel success and probably the best ground duel success out of all of these defenders as well. And then you look at Gouveia for Josko as well. He's sort of in and around them brackets as well. And when you start looking at the forward passes and the errors led to goals, shots and things like that, obviously Koulibaly and Colwill stand out there. It's interesting. It's just interesting stuff. If you haven't checked it out, check out Chelsea Database on Twitter, and it will give you guys a bit of a breakdown of the type of players or defenders that Chelsea are looking at and their sort of strengths and needs for the league that's just gone as well. Big up to Dan in the chat as well. Get the snake out of the club. He's talking about Romelu Lukaku as well.
Jim, can I say something quick on that chart you just showed?
Yeah.
So can you put it back up, please? Just 1 second.
Yeah.
So the aerial dual success, I don't think that's something you can improve. You have it or you don't have it. And I think Cole has it. When it comes to ball carry success, Koulibaly seems to have more experience. And it is normal because he's the oldest one and he's been playing for long. And I think that can be improved, or any player can work on it. If the team is playing one way, and you have someone like Thiago Silva around you, I think Colwill and Kounde can improve that, like carry ball and pass. It should be, they can work on that. Take on success, that's where I'm a little worried when it comes to Colwill and Kounde. I only care about those 2 at this point, Colwill and Kounde. Because I think like Colwill is Chelsea players, and he's already been playing the Championship, and I'm pretty sure he has some ability when the game, he's used to the game when the game is rough, because the Championship game is not as, it's pretty much like a Premier League, but with more intensity, with less intensity. But when it comes to the physicality, I think he should be there. Cole, he playing championship is not that bad. I mean, I've seen the Chelsea playing against a championship team, and they were not that bad. So my point is, the reason why I don't really care about Koulibaly and whatever that name is, I don't even know that guy. The 20 years old.
He plays in Leipzig.
Yeah, because we link with Kounde. I'm pretty sure Kounde is coming, and Colwell is already there. So those two, I think they can improve, because if they're both good when it comes to a real duel, all the others, they can improve it on the field. So
well, you've got to bear in mind with Jules Kounde, Boogie, man, when you look at Thomas Tuchel and the way he plays, we already know we're a ball possession team. We hold a lot of the ball. We dominate games. The fact that Jules Kounde has the best pass accuracy and the best long pass accuracy and ground duel success he has pretty much on par with Colwell tells me that them three areas are a pretty good thing for a player that's playing in a Tuchel system because of the way that we play. So having good pass accuracy, long pass accuracy, ground duel success as well, aerial duels, he's second best on aerial duels. That tells me that it makes sense why Chelsea would want to look at someone like Jules Kounde. I think he's definitely got areas to improve, though.
Don't you think pass accuracy and long pass accuracy, when you play in La Liga, where the pressing is not as high, so you can have time to make a proper pass, a proper long pass and all those things. In Premier League, you don't have that much time. If you have a striker like a Jamie Vardy playing against you, you don't have that much time to actually make those long passes and have some accuracy.
Yeah, but at least he shows that he has he has that in him, that he can. Some defenders are scared to make those passes, long passes and stuff.
Yeah.
But at least he.
That's true.
Can I just make one very, very quick comment before? Yeah. Look, I just I'm not too hot about this whole signing young players thing. Maybe I'm wrong, but on that left side, the two options are Colwell and Vardiol, I think. So, one of them is 19 and the other one is 20. I'm not sure if either of them can play, week in, week out, starting. So I don't know what you guys think about that, but I'm not too excited about that.
He can play on the left as well. If you look at the heat map.
Yeah, he can, but where will he be playing most of the time? I think he'll be playing on the right. So who's going to be on that left hand side? He'll be playing on the right. Or he'll play down. He'll play on the right, or he'll play down the middle. Thiago Silva will play down the middle, or Koulibaly will play down the middle, and then most likely Colwell or this Vardiol guy will play on the left. So I would say Colwell over Vardiol just because of the money.
Yeah.
And the stats don't look too different. So I would actually say Colwell. But then would I start Colwell week in, week out in our team? And I expect to maybe win a few trophies. I'm not sure.
Eric, I'd rather have Koulibaly and Kounde and have just Colwell in a squad depth, like sort of thing. Do you know what I mean?
And get rid of Malangsa.
And you could have Kounde. You could have Silva, Kounde, and Koulibaly as your three at the back. That's strong.
Yeah, Koulibaly will be on the left. That must be what it is. He would have to be on the left. Yeah. That would work. I think that makes sense. Yeah.
That's what I think Chelsea should do. Whether they do that, I think that Gouvedal is a young, mature, talented player.
And I don't think he will leave Leipzig. He's only been there for a year.
I think it's a lot of money. Yeah, it's a lot of money for 50 mil for him as well. When you can get Koulibaly for 30 mil with all that experience at 31 years old, it makes more sense to do a Koulibaly, not only just for his experience, but it's just the leadership qualities. We don't have that, and I think Koulibaly has that, in
one more thing. And Jem, one more thing when you said about the back three, one thing we forget is communication. The three guys all speak French. And the keeper.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. So it's even much better, isn't it?
Communicate easily.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for tuning into GNA TV. Been a good show. Nearly 2 hours on this stream. Not used to doing these late night streams, but you can see my lights lit up now. I've done an for you guys to see my light. Yeah,
enjoying your new yard, yeah?
Yeah, I'm enjoying my new yard, mate. I am tired today, I'm not going to lie. But listen, we will be coming through, dropping shows every time we get any breaking, any transfer news that are close, i.e. Dembele's, Kounde's, if they do break, any new transfer news that we ain't aware of players that could potentially be coming in, we will be doing shows on them. So make sure that before you leave, smash the like button, subscribe to GNA TV as well. Big up to all the panel as well that's been here today. Boogeyman, Rodrigo, Kazim, Eric, Collins, Couch Corner as well. Dinisham was here, but he disappeared as well. Big up to every single one of you guys. Make sure you enjoy the rest of your evening or day wherever you are. We will be back.
You too, mate. You too,
We'll be
mate.
back tomorrow. It might be the next day because I'm out all day tomorrow, but we'll see what happens. Depends on the news. It always depends on the news. Take care of yourselves.
Take
And we'll
care,
be
mate.
back
You too.
again
Good
very,
night.
very soon. Peace out.